Hello, everyone. I know it's been a while. I wanted to talk about a few things. Firstly, my health has improved in some ways, namely the amount of energy that I have. And that's mostly due to the fact that I now have a better understanding of my body in its current condition. I know where my limits are and how to respect those limits. But I also know how to disrespect those limits when it's important to me to get something done, to make something, to have something to say. I'm okay with expending excess energy that I don't necessarily have to do those things. And that has improved my health in some ways of knowing where those limits are. It's also allowed me to be making TikTok videos, which I've been making for the last several months. Unfortunately, my time on TikTok has been horrific, to put it plainly. I despise that platform as a creator. Two reasons. Primarily, when I started making TikTok videos, I was often talking about disability justice and disability advocacy, as well as just like socialism, communism in general. And TikTok loves that stuff because it loves when you stir the pot, when you make people angry, when you can create engagement. It sees no distinction between positive or negative engagement. And we already know that online, negative engagement is more likely to cause a stir, to get people talking. And so it reinforces in you, a TikTok creator, talking about things that will create a stir, that will create engagement. And so when I was talking about those things, I could find myself becoming angrier, or even if I wasn't necessarily angry, knowing how to push other people's buttons to drive engagement. And it was terrible. So I decided I wanted to just start making content about my music again, since I was able to start making music. This was even worse because TikTok was not interested in my music. And in fact, as soon as I strayed away from the niche topics that I was talking about, it started suppressing my content, where the 40,000 plus people who were following me didn't even know that I made music, because when I would post it, it wouldn't be seen by anybody. That's pretty different on this platform. Usually when people subscribe to you on YouTube, YouTube will show you the videos that they're making because you chose to follow their content. TikTok doesn't work the same way. It doesn't matter how large your audience is. If you divert from the algorithm and the way that it's taught you to behave, you will be punished for it. And I don't necessarily believe that there are like nefarious entities behind the algorithm making those specific decisions, but rather the way that the algorithm is designed is to reinforce those biases, stir the pot or else. And it's not always necessarily that, but if you're not operating in the ways that you found success and you deviate from that in any way, you're basically sent to TikTok jail. And that's where my account currently is, because I started to try to share my music. I have a gigantic catalog of music, and I think a lot of you aren't aware of that because I wasn't posting on YouTube, because I didn't have the energy to do so. And on TikTok, I could just pull my phone up, vomit out my thoughts, and people would engage with it and see the content, whatever else. I don't want to just make content anymore. I've been making artwork for a long time, and TikTok does not care about that artwork. But I know that a lot of you who followed me here for many years do care about that artwork. And so my intention with this channel is to share that artwork with you guys, as well as letting you know about my Patreon. I have my entire back catalog of music, everything I've ever made, for $5. It's like 80 plus songs, and it's always accruing more music because I'm always making more music. In addition to that Patreon, I'm also working on a project with my buddy Olin Rogers that he just got kickstarted for over $460,000.
What I want to do is not just make an animated short, I want to show the whole process beginning to end on how to make an animation. It's going to turn into a 6-part behind the scenes how to make animation series.
This is going to be a high quality project. He's going to be working with some of his contacts in the industry, as well as I'm going to show you some of my music here near the end of the video. The music that I used to make, there has been a marked improvement in the quality of the music that I was making. And so I'm going to be pulling out all the stops on this project, making the best music I've ever made. This is one of those situations where I know it's going to cost me some excess energy that maybe I don't have to make something that I really care about, to make something that's good and that people will enjoy. Which brings me to Final Space. I'm going to be breaking down some Final Space scenes on this channel, how I made the music, along with my buddy Andrew Goodwin, who was my co-composer on Season 3, and Casey Edwards, who was another composer. Often when I would get too sick, didn't have enough energy, Casey would hop in and do some composing for me. And we also had my friend Dodie, who worked on some songs in Season 3. She did a tremendous job. So I'll be talking about stuff that we did on Season 3, doing some breakdowns of some scenes, some fan favorite scenes. I have a lot of things that I've wanted to talk about and have just realized that TikTok is not the platform to do that, and that I already had a platform and people who cared about what I was doing. And so this is my triumphant return. This is Aragorn pushing the doors open at Helm's Deep. Yes, I have fallen off a mountainside, but I survived with some scrapes and bruises. I'm back, everybody. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.